it's not there. See if I can get that fixed. There we go. Hi, welcome to Laura's Painted Minis. I am Laura, and we're going to try and finish these guys up. So, obviously they have basing on them. I am just going to try and kind of paint them up a little bit, paint the basing up a little bit, so that it works with the colors on these guys. I've got kind of some fallish type colors on palette. There are also colors that I used on the mini itself. So we're going to make these leaves a little more fall looking, I guess. Twitch must have changed their requirements for the affiliate, Twitch affiliate, which is the basically like the first tier for being able to make money through streaming on Twitch. So I went to my, like, just the dashboard page, and it said I had 3 or 4 requirements. And I was like, but then I looked at my followers, and I'm like, I'm not at 50 yet, so I don't know how I'm, and then I actually looked at it, and it now says only 25. So I guess all I need now is, it's like, I think based on the wording, some of their wording is kind of a little unclear. But I think the last requirement is needing an average of 3 viewers on every stream. Or an average of 3 viewers over each stream in the month. So like taking each stream, I guess adding up the viewers, the amount of viewers of those streams in a month, and then dividing by the amount of streams that were actually occurred. I don't know. The wording of that definitely looks different than previous, so I need to look into that. I'm gonna get my wash medium. Find it. Do a separate palette or well of a wash. How was everyone's weekend? Just gonna kind of dab this in here so that there's kind of cover up some of the black that's showing through. And go over the gravel a little bit. I get the feeling this guy is not really on there. But That's simple enough. I could totally do more, but I get something that's a little more believable as far as the colors with the color scheme that I've got on this guy. Doesn't clash quite as much. We kind of lose some of the leaves, but there's not many to begin with, so it's fine. We got this one here still, though he might fall off. He's not staying on too well. Plus we got 5 of these to do, so and I am just going to be selling them on eBay, so I don't want to necessarily be spending hours on the basing. I usually don't spend hours on the basing of anything, to be honest. It's not my forte, so to speak. I've been picking up some things here and there. This is the wash I mentioned making earlier, just a minute ago. I meant to do this first and I forgot about that on that first mini. I got a bunch of prep work done over the weekend for some one-shots. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to actually happen. Just because there is not as big of a response as we've had in previous years to our tabletop role-playing weekend. We were already going to make this the last one, and so it's kind of feeling like a good signal of like, yeah, that's the right time to, I guess, pretty much bring it to a close and let games kind of just happen more organically. I don't think I'll be like terribly heartbroken if I don't get to run the games that I've got planned. Can still use some of the stuff maybe in my campaign or something. Or just even, in the coming years when there's a little more distance or time between the now and, I guess, more time after next month's gaming weekend. I'll probably go ahead and post it on, I don't know how many of you are actually in central Iowa. And if you're fine with the fact that it would be at a church and need to be kind of more family friendly. We have gotten kids in the past, although a lot of those kids like kept returning and quite a bit of the time, and so now they're grown up. You never know. The event itself was kind of meant to help connect people within our church who like playing the games and stuff. So, I mean, that is a big reason. One, that it's at our church and family friendly, and two, it's also another reason actually with why we're making it the last one, because we've been doing surveys and keeping track and semi keeping track of, like, making mental notes and stuff of who's coming a lot and, you know, how many new people are we actually getting each time. And the last couple events really have not had any new people. It's been returners. And a lot of them are in campaigns that the GMs who are volunteering are running. So I think we definitely have hit that goal of connecting people, and at least for the time being, there's not any new people who are coming to Stormbrook or my church that are looking for, you know, to connect with other people who play TTRPGs. And there, it also doesn't seem like there's as much of an interest either. So yeah, gotta mix up with some more wash running out. And these others, I'll probably have time, I would imagine, because these are going pretty quick, that I'll come back to those other ones that I were just painting, and maybe help highlight a bit more since they will be dry. Because they were not fully dry, and so I was kind of ending up doing a little bit of wet blending there. This is charred brown, by the way, if you're curious what I'm using. Charred brown. I had used it on the mini itself, I believe on the cloak, probably. So yeah, I mean, I think even though it's kind of a, as a person, one of the people who are planning the event, it's kind of annoying because you want to make it happen, but if people don't sign up, then, you know, can't really do much then. we've got a few people signed up, so I mean, there will be some games happening, but at the same time, there'll be a lot of games will get canceled slash merged into other games. We'll probably have to talk about that once the sign up closes as a planning team of and talking with the GMs of like, okay, so who do we? Does anyone have preference? I mean, I think we would, if there's one game that has more people signed up and we can fit all the others who had signed up for other games that same time slot, then we probably would ship them over or something. I don't know. This is me just kind of thinking out loud. We don't, there's not any specific plans in place as of yet. Let's see, it's kind of really only, I guess there's the two leaves on here. I kind of like them just being light brown though. But hey, I mean, like I said, the goal was for connecting people and to have fun. So if, people are no longer excited about it or because they have their own games that they're in, then that is okay. It's not something that we need to do. And the perk of our thing is that it is free. Because obviously there's tons of different options out there throughout the year that they could just pay and go and get some similar experiences if that's all they're wanting to do is just to play a lot. But yeah. Alright, this is the first one I did. It's mostly dry. Here we go. Make the grass look a little more like it's dying since we got fall leaves. Otherwise, things might look a little weird. Guys. But yeah, if I end up not being able to run, if we don't get many more people signed up, and I'm not running any of my one shots. I mean, one of them is I just adapted the first couple of first couple of sessions of my campaign I'm running. So I mean, I've already, in one sense, run it. So I won't be sad if I'm not gonna go out of my way to try and get that one to happen. But there's a couple. The other ones I would be interested in definitely still trying. So I probably would just, yeah, next year sometime, just kind of look for players and whatnot. See who is interested. Not set like a specific date or anything, but just first find people who would want to play that. The storyline and whatnot. And then can go from there. There's also the Dracula one shot that I would like to do at some point. There's a lot of minis I need to paint though for that, because it was an idea inspired by the Sullen box. So yeah, here we go. It's looking a little better. You can see some things pulled out. It's not just all brown. Sorry if you start hearing weird snoring sounds. That would be one of my cats. I got distracted and forgot what I was doing. So is okay. So once I get these, so get these finished up, all I have to do then is just take some nice pictures, then I usually in a video, and then I'll get them up on eBay to sell. And if you want to stay in the loop on that, my Facebook page is probably the best option for that. It's easiest there to share links and stuff than it is with Instagram. I'll likely share finished pics on Instagram and my other places as well. It's just not as easy to connect a link with it and those on Instagram. Plus, I mean, it would need to be a temporary link since it's would be auctioned. Sweet. That's the last one that I did some highlights on. Here are the 3 paints I used to make some mixes. I'm trying to think. I want to say they might have released this individually as it was part of Fast Palette of theirs, and there were some of them that they released so that you could now buy them individually. Although they're also going to do a big secret announcement, Reaper, that is, if you're not aware. That is the hard thing, is they don't have their actual name really big, but down at the bottom here you can see their website. I am hoping, did suggest, as a little thing for the next Kickstarter to like, maybe devote some of the money to getting someone who can just kind of remake the labels so that it's a little bit more forward. Their name is a little more forward, obvious. I'm fine with them still being simple like this, where it's like, the name and number and that stuff, and then just, have their logo or something more prominent, or yeah. But oh well, that is their choice. They are a small company, and so it would be hard for them. All right, well, wasn't sure how long that was going to take, but that's probably about all I can do, or will do. I guess while I have the charred brown, I'm going to touch up this. See if there's any others that have some areas that need some quick touch-ups. Work. Perk of using some similar colors of what was already on the mini is that I can do some really quick touch-ups after painting the base. This one looks like it's probably okay as far as any blurs I need to fix. And I've mentioned this before, but I am going to keep 2 because we don't have any wererats, and I do kind of like the way these specific sculpts, and that fact that he has little friends with him. It's kind of fun. Yep, all of them in view there. So yeah, this Thursday and probably even Monday too, I'll be working on minis. And I guess by Monday I would know for sure, because Friday is going to be the last day that we'll have the sign up open. So yeah, but Thursday we'll be working on some cultists. Some of them I've got. I'm working really hard to get to not lose my shadows and highlights. So I was going back to wet blending, and so that's what you got here is wet blending between the shadow and highest highlight color. And then this other one that I mentioned or showed you, I came back and kind of deepened the shadows and then helped blend them back up. So this was really helpful for kind of like giving me a benchmark for like to work off of. So yeah, I feel like definitely is better. I want them to be dark, like this dark purplish color. So the highlights themselves would need to be small. Whoops. So yes, this is what we will work on Thursday. We got 2 more. I've got 2 more still to actually come back and deepen the shadows and bring the highlights up. So we will be either working on that or we'll get to painting some more stuffs on here. I mean, on the menu, the rest of the mini themselves. So there's those guys for you to look at, and I will see you Thursday, same time, 1:15 p.m. Central. All right, hope you have a good couple of days, and I will see you then. Bye.